Imagine firing up Vancouver's Olympic cauldron again 10 years from now.
To have it again, it's such a huge expense. And we have so many problems in our city.
It is kind of an exciting plan, honestly. I think the city can handle it.
I think we have way too many problems to deal with financially. It's a housing crisis, it's the addiction crisis, it's the homelessness.
John Furlong thinks Vancouver and Whistler should bid to bring the games back.
We actually would be submitting an application for the games that does not include a call for new venues, new facilities, new arenas, new curling rinks. And it fits right into the Agenda 2020 of lowering the cost and making it easier for cities to do this.
If there's a credible bid, I certainly take a look at it, but this needs to come from Vancouver. It needs to come from the community. It's not something that we'll be initiating.
Vancouver's mayor calls it a fun idea, but says Victoria and Ottawa would have to foot the bill. He'd also want a referendum for residents to vote on the idea.
We'd have to make sure if an event like this ever comes again to Vancouver that it meshes with our priorities, which is, easing the housing crisis, addressing overdoses, and making our transit better here in the city. So they'd have to dovetail nicely, and those things are all possible.
Furlong believes the games could be transformational in tackling problems like affordable housing and transportation.
The feeling is that maybe the Olympic Games can be the rocket fuel to kick some of this discussion forward and bring more players together at the same time on the same issue, and include First Nations, who now have a big interest in housing.
The notion that somehow that we need the Olympics to help us focus on housing affordability seems kind of fatuous.
It would mean, this expert says, convincing higher levels of government to cough up the money.
If somehow this is a way that we can trick the feds into spending a lot more on housing here than they would otherwise, and on paying for some new transit that they wouldn't otherwise, then you might see some logic in it.
While governments would need convincing, the International Olympic Committee might be an easier sell.
I've spoken to the IOC about this. They were enamored by the idea. They like Vancouver. I think they would very much feel great if Vancouver entered this again.
But could Vancouver actually end up on the 2030 podium?
I think we'd have a very good shot. I like our chances against anybody.